Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interactions. We have the 2020 feature, Sports with Brian Camp, and Entertainment News with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand, and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, TGIF. Here we are, another Friday, and we're coming to you live directly from New York City. Welcome to another edition of the Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and once again, we're all here together around the breakfast table or wherever you gather normally at this particular time. We come on every Friday morning at this time. So wherever your time zone is, just look at your clock and you'll see that whatever it is, that's the time we come on. We come here Eastern, 10 a.m. Eastern. And of course, we're all around the world, all around the country, and there's not a place you can go in the whole wide world without not picking us up. We can do it, and we thank you so much for being along with us. And right throughout the show, we were going to do the normal things that we normally do. We're going to get you involved in conversation, and if you're here for the very first time, you need to know that what I do to start the program as the host is to get things going by just conversating, giving you information. And if you want to get involved in conversation, you're welcome to do so too. All you have to do is just take your keyboard, type whatever you want to say right in there, and I'll see you right there on the big screen. And I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas if you have any questions, or maybe you have a topic you want to expand on for today. We'll be happy to do that for you. And later on in the program, we're going to do what we normally do. As I said, we've got our 2020 feature, 20 past the hour. We're going to go directly to Brian Camp. We're going to link up with him. He's going to give us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And there's a lot to talk about on that. And 20 to the hour, the second part of the 2020 feature, DJ Pete will be here, and he'll be along with Entertainment News and reciting all of those birthdays of this week of all the people of notoriety. That's all coming on. And then later on, we're going to give you our picks of the week of the movies directly from Turner Classic Movies. I always have that to add to your bucket list of what to watch, just in case you want to catch up on some movies for this weekend. My picks of the week for this weekend, and lots of other things. And you too can join into the conversation. So with that in mind, let's get started right now. Here we are. And what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. That's delicious. Okay, remember that all of the opinions and view of this show, Talkback Live, or I should say the Coffee Hour, all of the opinions and a view on Talkback Live does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, and any other social media or broadcast facility. So glad to have you aboard with us. It's nice. Now we've got weather that's not too good in New York City at the moment, but we're going to check that out for you. Now, if you're going to join in conversation and say hi to us, if you're going to come in, please, you know, we always ask you, it's not mandatory that you do so, but we just like to share it with others. If you have a weather forecast, you probably would like to share it with us, and we could share it with us. We want to kind of like exchange ideas and see what your weather is like there where you are, and my weather is where I am. Now, those of you who live in the New York area, New York City, and the surrounding boroughs of New York City, don't worry about that. I will take care of that weather forecast for you. I have it right here, and I will read it off to you. And you'll get a chance to know what it's like. We'll tell you about that in a few minutes. But in the meantime, we'd like to welcome you one and all. In case, by the way, if you're watching us on Facebook, please take the opportunity right now to tag all of your friends. You can tag this show right now to all of your friends, and they'll get to see the notification. They'll press on that notification. It'll pop right up. They'll get it. And it'll just bring them right here to us. They'll see you, they'll see me, and everyone else here. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube, take the opportunity right now to click on to that red strip there which says subscribe to my YouTube channel. Why? Because that will give you the opportunity to know when we come on the air live, and you'll get notified for that. Even if we post a picture or a video or something, you get notification on that, providing you're online to receive it. And so that's one of the benefits of subscribing to our YouTube channel. Plus, we want to get as many as possible, be part of our family. Those of you who are watching us on Instagram, thank you so much. You know what to do. All you have to do is just to continue to follow us and tell your family and friends to jump aboard with us. Okay, we've got so many things planned for you today. We're going to see if we can get right through this hour. I know the hour is going to go quick. It's, every week it seems like it's like 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minute show in an hour. But we're going to get as much as we can inside that 5 minutes. I already explained to you what we're going to do with that. But right now, we're going to give you our weather forecast. For those of you who are in the New York area, New York only, this is what I have for you. Right now, it's a little dismal outside right now. And so this way, it might get a little better. It might get a little better. But this is what we have so far. Our temperatures at this particular moment is 45 degrees. That's what we have right now, 45 degrees outdoors. And of course, we had warm weather for the past couple of days here in New York. And now it's going to get back to normal. It's going to get back to normal the way it was. But I just can't wait when the real warmth come in. That's summertime weather, but that's another show at another day and another time. Anyway, we've got rain developing today. Showers this morning with overcast skies during the afternoon hours. We'll have high around 48 degrees. That's the highest we'll get today. That's not bad. That's not exactly freezing, but it's not bad. Winds will be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 50%. And for tonight, a few clouds will be on hand. For tonight, we'll have a low 36 degrees. Winds will be west-south, west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Saturday, tomorrow, it's not bad at all. It doesn't seem like it's going to get wet at all. As a matter of fact, it's going to be partly cloudy. We'll have a high around 46 degrees. Winds will be west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, right? Not bad, right? I'll take it. Saturday night, partly cloudy skies. We'll have a low 31 degrees. Winds will be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. No rain in the forecast there. And as we wrap up our weekend, we go to Sunday. It looks very, very good out there. It's going to be sunny skies along with a few clouds. No wet weather here. And we'll have a high 41 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. And so that's our weather forecast today. Repeating our current temperature, we have 45 degrees outdoors, and it's looking good. It is really looking good so far. But I mean, at the moment, it's dismal out there, little raindrops, but nothing major, no floodings or anything like that, no storms and nothing like that. So everything is looking good. Okay, so those of you who are watching, by the way, I repeat that if you're going to chime in conversation, please be nice enough to give us your weather forecast. We really would appreciate that. And we know that the big news of the day, you already know that we did the 11th, up to the 11th ballot in Washington, D.C. They're having a time over there, but what I say is just let it go, let them do their thing. But they're at the 11th, and so far, Kevin McCarthy is not really doing too well right there in that department. So they're going to intervene or convene at 12 noon. They're going to come back at 12 noon, and we'll see what happens then. Obviously, they're going to go for another ballot, which will be the 12th ballot, and he lost every one of them so far. But he's holding on tight, and we're going to see how that happens. If you have any information about that while I'm on the air, because I can't obviously give you any information that I have than what I have right now. But if you have any updates and you know about it, please let me know. And of course, we'll convey it to the rest of the people. This is not what I envisioned the new year to be like, but then again, you never know. Some things stay the same as that thought goes. Everything changes, wherever changes, it remains the same. Some things just stay the same, and it's unfortunate that this is happening, but we look forward to individually, I hope the rest of you who have the foresight and the vision of a good new year, I wish that for you. The rest of you who just don't want to move on and let go of the old past, then I would say that's on you. Okay, a little sad news, of course, as you already know. You probably already know about it. Barbara Walters, the pioneering TV broadcaster who blazed a trail for women in the male-dominant media, died peacefully at her home this past week. You already know about that, right? But we only come on once a week, so we get the news. And she was surrounded by her family. And as a matter of fact, she passed away last Friday. I mean, it's a week ago, last Friday, but we still bring it out there. She died at the age of 93. And there were so many great tributes to her from the news media. And she really went back. A lot of people may not know, but she went back a long way in her career in broadcasting. She started back in the 1950s, I believe in 1953. She was a producer, she was a writer just before she made the anchoring and doing interviews and things like that. And one of the things, the good things I like about Barbara Walter, she didn't hold back. She didn't hold back. And this is the time, during the time when you know, it was probably taboo, especially for a woman to be in broadcasting. You know, it was back in those days. It was a male dominant. There were women broadcasters back then, but not as many as they are today. So we can thank the pioneers that went back there all those years ago to pave the way for the new women broadcasters that are coming up, the ones that are here now and the ones that are about to come along. So we take our hats off and we say our condolences to her friends and family, colleagues, everybody that worked with her. You also know that she gave birth to that popular show that you all watch, that most of you watch, called The View, with Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and, you know, a host of others. They're right there each day. And so she was part of the show long before she retired. Then, you know, after retirement, of course, she left it off to the remaining girls that are there. The personnel changed every once in a while, but the show is there. It's a very popular show. I have to admit, when the show first came out, I didn't watch it because I thought it was just basically geared to women, which they do. Which I'm glad they do have a lot of platforms for women. And I thought it was geared to women, which, you know, it had no interest for me to watch. But, you know, I learned that, you know, that the conversation, I listened to what they were saying, what they were talking about and the issues. And I said, hey, this is not for women, it's for everyone, you know. And so even to this day, I still don't get the chance to watch it in real time because I'm, you know, my different schedules. In the morning, you know, it's like a morning schedule for me that I don't get a chance to gather around the TV set. Every once in a while I can do it, but for the most part, I don't. But what I do is go to YouTube and check out what they post after the show is over. At the end of the day, I could see, you know, the conversations that they have, and they come up with some really neat conversations. And in the past, they had very good guests. It gets a little fiery sometimes, but then that's what makes good TV, I suppose. I don't know. But anyway, that was Barbara Walters' vision to have that platform, and it's working, and I hope it stays around for a long time. A lot of people, some people enjoy it, some people don't. Some people never get a chance to watch it because they're at work. But I'm sure people who are interested in the show and can't watch it in real time, I'm pretty sure before they head out to work, they watch it, they DVR it, and then come back and watch it later on. That's a smart thing to do. That's the good thing about the technology today, is that if you don't get a chance to see at the time that's given, this time slot that's given, and you're not there, and you know it's going to be there, you can DVR it and watch it later. That is so cool. I really like that. So technology has its pros and cons, and that's one of the great things about it. So Barbara Walters, we love you, and may you rest in peace. Also, yesterday, Pope Benedict XVI passed away. You already know he passed away at the age of 95. His funeral was yesterday, and he was the first Pope to resign like 600 years. The first Pope to resign in 600 years. And I mean, while he was the Pope, and he resigned. You know, all the popes don't necessarily resign. They usually pass away or whatever it is while they're there, and then a new one comes in. But Pope Benedict resigned, and he passed away at 95, and his funeral was yesterday. I didn't get a chance to see the highlights of the funeral, but again, you know, he has family too, and of course we have our condolences to all of the people and the people in the Catholic faith. We take our hats and pay homage to them. Anita Pointer, one of the founding members of the Pointer Sisters, died too last Saturday, and she was 74 years old. She lost her only daughter, Jada, in the year 2003, and her sister June died in 2006, and her sister Bonnie died in the year 2020. Now, Ruth Pointer is the surviving sister. One more, Ruth Pointer is a surviving sister. They also had brothers, two brothers, as a matter of fact, Fritz and Aaron. Fritz is, of course, a writer. Fritz and Anita wrote a book together, and Aaron was a former Major League Baseball player. So our hats and our prayers and our thoughts go out to the Pointer family, the survivors, and all of the rest of them, all of the kids and everyone in the family, associations of the family, fans, friends, colleagues, people who knew them, record producers and writers, and every one of the people who were involved with the Pointer Sisters. We send our condolences out to all of them. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. It's 16 minutes past the hour right now. And if you're joining us for the first time, don't make it your last time. Always make it your weekly habit. Come along with us and be part of the action, and you'll get a chance to know other people who are in the, you know, coming in right now, and you can talk to us just as well, only because we're live. Don't forget, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we're on Instagram. We're live on Instagram right now. So there you guys on Instagram. Thanks for coming in. All you guys on YouTube, thank you so much. And of course, Facebook, of course. And again, we're originating from New York. DJ Pete will be here, but he left, he was nice enough to leave a weather forecast. So he's going to come in later on, but he left us a weather forecast. So here it is right now in Portland, Maine. You know, we already gave you the weather forecast in New York City, but right now this comes from Portland, Maine. What he has in Portland, Maine, cloudy skies with snow. Okay, that sounds logical. He's in that area where the snow hits. So he's got a little snow there. I don't think it's really inclement because he didn't state that, but it's got cloudy skies. There'll be snow developing, and they'll have a high temperatures around 32 degrees. And early Saturday temperatures will low, let's just see. Okay, that's for early Saturday. Temperatures low around 28 degrees. And winds will be out of the northeast at 16 miles per hour, and the humidity is 70%. All right, so yeah, they get a little bit of snow. Now we didn't get much snow here in New York. But that doesn't mean we won't get dumped on later on before it's all over. Everyone has to pay a price. And it always seemed when people say, oh, we didn't have a bad winter, you know, we got through Christmas, everything is okay, except for the poor people in Buffalo and the surrounding areas when they got that real bad snow. I mean, snow that, I mean, I guess that was like snow that hasn't been seen in years, in 40 some odd years. That kind of snow, but we haven't gotten any big snow just yet. But I'm not going to guarantee you, I'm not going to swear to it, but I can safely say that we're due for it. I'll put it that way. We're due for a dumping, and we just may get it. You never know. You know, as I always say, when we pass New Year's, I always come look at the light at the end of the tunnel. Now we passed all of those holidays. We're in the light, and so we have to see what holds for all of us as far as the weather goes, you know, but people are still probably, you know, in in Buffalo and the surrounding areas, it's probably not about snow anymore. And after all of that snow melted, of course, everything starts to flood now, because of course, as you already know, common sense will tell you that snow turns into water, and depending on how cold it is, it can freeze, slippery conditions. People have to leave their cars home and take transit if there's available. If you're in an area where it's available to take mass transit, some of us have subways and buses, and some of us, like in California, they do have transportation in California. But I understand that in California, I remember years ago, at a certain time in California, the bus routes would end at a particular time. So it wasn't like 24 hours of bus routes. And I don't know if they still do that. I haven't been to California in a while, but I understand that that's at the end of the day or something, at some time, at some point at the end of the day, they stop the buses from running. And so while everyone's asleep, if you have to travel, of course, you have to have a car. And basically, in those areas, you do have to have a car. As opposed to New York City, you don't need a car. A car is a luxury here in New York, not a necessity. And in California and Las Vegas and all of those places, a car is a necessity and not a luxury. But then again, it can be a luxury too. If you own a car, that's luxurious, you know. But a lot of cities don't need cars, especially New York. We don't need cars. And we have more cars on the roads than I guess anyone could really ask for. And as time goes on, New York gets flooded with cars, highway congestions. And I do know, in experience driving in New York, I know it gets a little congested, but I do also know that in California, in the Los Angeles area, the traffic is terrible. I think I'd rather drive in New York than to drive in California and Los Angeles. I think that's the safest thing. And those highways, they're crazy. They are crazy. But that's what it is. Okay, well, we are a little behind schedule right now. And right now I'm waiting for Brian to chime in. It's 20 past the hour, so he's overdue right now, but hopefully he'll be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports, and he'll have it to you on Sports Update. We're waiting for him to come in. It's not right now, it's 22 past the hour, and DJ Pete will be here 20 to the hour, as I said before. I want to recommend something to all of you guys. If you didn't see it, on CNN, as you already know, if you're a watcher of CNN, CNN has this thing, what they call the documentaries that they have every now and again. And these documentaries, some people will enjoy, and some people will say, I don't need to watch that. It doesn't knock me out. But here's one I want to recommend to you that I saw last Sunday. It was on last Sunday. As a matter of fact, it came on twice. It came on at 9 o'clock Eastern. And then again, I think it was on at midnight. So you had two opportunities to watch this documentary. It's called Dionne Warwick, Don't Make Me Over. A great documentary. It's a 2-hour documentary. And it was great. And I suggest that you watch it. If you didn't see it, you know, it's over on CNN now, but if you didn't see it, at those particular times I just mentioned, I think what you ought to do is go to CNN On Demand. It's there. I can guarantee you it's there. Go there and you can watch it. And the good thing about it, you can watch it without the commercials. I don't think they inject any commercials into it. So you can go there. It's called Dionne Warwick, Don't Make Me Over. It's one of those, it's great. It's great. I really enjoy it. So I hope you do too. And for those of you who don't get a chance to watch it, you know, take your time with it. Take your time with it. I think it's going to be up on their website for a long time. And it took me back, because back in the days of Dionne Warwick and her heyday in the early years, you know, that's when I like to refer to back in those days. Music was music. Music was music. There was so much talent out there, unbelievable talent. And I always enjoyed the music of the 50s and even the 40s. Now, I wasn't there in the 40s when they had all of this great music and the swing music and all. I wasn't there. I wasn't born yet. But I do know that you could always go back in time because music never dies. In all eras, you could always go back in time and research it, and the music is always available. You could listen to it. You can find all kinds of information about it, how it got started, and who were the big band players, all of that. That's forever. And I got to learn that kind of music, and then going to college and majoring in music, of course, that just broadened my perspective in listening to other kinds of music, and even music that I never thought I would even bother with, like classical music. I never thought I would bother with classical music. Okay, but the point is that all of that had stretched all the way to where we are today. Now, my opinion, only my opinion, that I thought that the music, in my opinion, back in those days was the best. And my other opinion is that when the 80s moved out, I thought that was the end of the music industry. That's only my opinion. There are other great, musicians that come out and try to do the things, what they do. But when I listen back to what I hear today, I think, and maybe, when I talk with DJ Pete later on, when he comes on, maybe he can chime in on this conversation, because he's a disc jockey, and me as a former disc jockey, we kind of share the same thoughts of music, but he may have a different thought about it. But I always thought, in my opinion, that the music just, they said when the music died. Now the music didn't die, but it's just that at a certain level, when you get to a certain level, a certain decade, it just diminished. I thought the music industry just went flat. That's only my opinion. We'll see. I'm going to see what DJ Pete says when he comes in about that. That's only my opinion. But there are a lot of people coming along that they want to excel in their business. And the other thing, sadly to say, is that the new people that are coming in, I pull for them. I really want them to do well. I want everyone to do well musically. But in my opinion, that the newer acts that are coming in, there are acts that I think I've heard before. They have that sound like someone else that I've heard before. And I understand how that works, because when you're a newcomer, you have idols. Now, for women, it could be Madonna, it could be Lady Gaga, it could be even Dionne Warwick, right? And people tend to emulate these people, and that's good, because you want to, if you're going to emulate anyone, you want to emulate the best, right? And they just didn't. They sound so much alike. Now, my advice to you is, when you do that, please keep in mind that it's all right to emulate people, to shape your talent, but don't stay with it too long. Don't stay with it too long. But some people tend to do that, and their careers go down the drain. So when someone else is working and it sounds that they already had originally, and you come up with it for a while, that's okay. But if you stay with it, then you kind of damage yourself, And please, when you sing or whatever you do, just do it, with a great enunciation where people can understand you, because there's a lot of acts. You ever listen to a lot of acts right now? They tend to, like, you don't know what they're saying. You have no idea what they're saying, because the clarity is not there. And then the loud music doesn't help either. It really doesn't. So just keep that in mind. We'll see more. We'll see what DJ Pete has to say about that when he comes in. He might disagree with me. Anyway, he's finally here, and he's in New York City too. So we're going to get it going right now and move along. Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Let's see what he has for us. Brian, how you doing? I'm sorry you're late, but there you go.
Yeah, well, was stuck in traffic on the Metro North train. So in between New York subways and then Metro North, it's hard. It's really hard. But I'm here though. I'm here. So good morning to you all and everything. Again, I apologize for being late, but let me get to the sports. I know I got a time limit before Pete comes on. NCAA football championship game coming up January 9th. I advise everybody, do not miss it. This is the last college football game of the year. It's TCU, the third-ranked TCU team is going to go against the number 1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. That game is Monday at 7:30 on where else? ESPN. Don't miss it. It's for all the marbles. It's for the championship. So this day in sports, January 6, 1942, Bob Feller enlists in the Navy and reports for duty in Norfolk, Virginia. 1976, Ted Turner, remember him? Ted Turner. Ted Turner used to own, I don't know if he still owns, I don't know if he's still alive, I don't know, but he purchased the Atlanta Braves for a reported $12 million. I know he had some kind of ownership in CNN. Yeah, he purchased the Braves in 1976. 1995, speaking of Atlanta, the Atlanta Hawks, Lenny Wilkins passes Red Auerbach to become the NBA's winningest coach at that time of 939 wins. And in 2015, Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, and John Smoltz, and Craig Bigelow was inducted to Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Yes. Birthdays on this day, 1946, Harold Jackson, NFL wide receiver born in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, as Keith Jackson would say, Mississippi. In 1951, Don Gullett, Major League Baseball pitcher, was born in Lynn, Kentucky. 1961, Howie Long, NFL TV actor, broadcaster, was born in Somerville, Massachusetts. 1964, Charles Haley, NFL defensive end and 5-time Super Bowl champion, was born in Gladys, Virginia. And in 1982, Gilbert Arenas, NBA guard, born in Tampa, Florida. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a quick summary for sports. Got some other good news too. The football player escapes my mind who was injured on Monday Night Football. Yes.
Damar Hamlin.
Yes. He is talking. He is awake. He's coming through. And they say prayer. I tell people, don't underestimate the word of prayer. It was so early this week too. One of the ESPN's analysts actually said a word of prayer on the air during the show. Dan Lowowski, I think is his name. And you don't see this too often in sports. He's a former football player, former quarterback, wasn't a big name player, but he was on NFL Live, and he just took it upon himself to say a nice prayer, and for the family, and for his, not so much about his playing career, but just to make sure his life is back intact. I don't know what's going to happen. Everything is day to day, and we're going to see what's going to happen, whether he continues to play or not. I hope he doesn't play, because football is a very brutal sport, and we just hope that he just puts his life first. 24 years old, but he's remarkably just doing well. But he's being monitored still. But as each moment goes by, he's getting stronger and stronger.
Damar Hamlin, I don't think he's speaking just yet, not verbally, because I think they still have those tubes, so I don't think he can speak yet. He can communicate, but he has to do it by writing.
I think according to what just came over the line, the wire, that he is speaking a little bit now.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't get a chance to get the updates while I'm here live.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is good news. That is good news. And
that is good news. Yeah.
Thing too. When he came alive. He wanted to know who won that game. He wanted to know that game. And I'm just keep my fingers. He's not out of the woods yet. He's not out of the woods yet, but I'm just keeping
not out of the woods yet, right? And I think what they're going to do, I think yesterday and then today, they're going to definitely decide what they're going to do with the game. I think they're going to not replay that game. They're not going to resume that game.
Yeah, that
game is over, a wash.
Yeah, they confirmed that already. They're not gonna do it.
Okay, great.
That's already confirmed. So, but there are other games coming up, and the NFL. I'm pretty sure all of the guys in the NFL they're not taking this lightly, and they're wondering why. is all of this worth it? I don't know how many more people are going to retire, and especially the younger ones going to retire early because it's scaring people. It scares people. And I'm pretty sure some of the players in the NFL are they're thinking about this.
Well, the life expectancy of NFL players in the league is 3.5 years. So what does that mean? We don't know. I don't know exactly how many years you have to collect a pension, but football is the most fast and vicious, aggressive sport of the four major North American sports, and they pay the least amount. They don't pay more than Major League Baseball or the NBA. Now it's up to the union, the Players Association Union, to get with the NFL owners and the NFL to come to some kind of agreement, because we've seen the after effects. It's not so much of what happens right then and there, but it's what happens years down the road. We've seen players, lose their mind, commit suicide. So it's something that they got to really get to really put together.
I think it's 3 years until they get their pension. I think it's 3 years. And Damar Hamlin is 2.5 years in already.
Yeah.
So,
it's vicious,
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that they don't last long. They just don't last long in the league anymore, unless if you're a special talent. If you're a special talent, then you make a lot more money. But you're better off if you have a special talent. Not only do you get paid, but you get also endorsements that leads to you making a whole lot of money and having a great career.
Yeah, and I thought about that when just yesterday I was thinking about it. I was watching the news. Let's say, for instance, for the sake of, and like you say, you hope that he doesn't come back, because that's going to be kind of touchy, after going through all of that. I would hope and I would think the Buffalo Bills or the NFL and as a whole would be able to do something for him. Maybe he can train to go into the booth or something, or hold an executive position or something, something for him. But I don't suppose they'll leave him out to dry just like that,
I think they will find something for him.
Yeah.
Sorry that it would have to take something like this, but again, we're still talking too early. We don't know, what's going to happen down in the next couple of days or weeks or so. The main thing is for this young man to get his life back on track, and for him to be okay, so he can hopefully live a normal life. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy about that good news for him, and we'll just have to go day by day, because that's all that all of us get is go from day to day, moment to
day. That's it. That's right.
Well, Brian, how's your trip in New York so far? Oh, well, hey, by the way, we can talk about the Jackie Robinson Museum. You and I went there yesterday.
Yes, it was a beautiful experience. Jackie Robinson had done a lot for not only for Black athletes, but for all athletes of all colors and all different ethnic groups and everything. And he, is a war hero. He's an activist. He was an activist, a war hero, like I said, and he played 4 different sports. There's a lot of things I did not know about him, and want to give a shout out to Jennifer. What's her name again?
Jensen, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, she was she's a historian. She's the creator of this beautiful built museum that she helped put together, and it was great just to see all the history around Brooklyn. I wore my Brooklyn Jackie Robinson jersey and cap, but I had to let the people know I'm not a Dodger fan. I'm a San Francisco Giant fan, but I'm honoring this man today, Jackie Robinson, for what he's done for all people. And so I told him, don't get it twisted. I'm a Giants fan, a San Francisco, New York Giants fan. Yes.
Well, next time you're back in New York, your wife is not with you now, but next time you're back in New York and she comes, we'll go back there again, the 3 of us. How about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
And I'll flip the bill.
Okay.
I want to see.
Yes.
I want to see if I can get DJ out, the DJ Pete. I don't know if he's into sports. Get DJ Pete to come to New York so I could, treat him to that. I think he'll.
Yes.
Yeah.
He would like it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Brian. We'll talk to you next week then.
Okay. Have a good weekend, everybody, and be safe.
Okay, thanks a lot. That was Brian Kemp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And he's here every Friday at this time. And of course, that's just wrapping up our 2020 feature, the first part of the 2020 feature. And now we're going to go to the second part of the 2020 feature. Look how fast we're moving along and doing everything on time as we can. DJ Pete is here, and he's live on camera.
Hey.
DJ, what happened?
Well, it started working, then it stopped working, and then it started working again. So there it is, folks.
Sometimes technology has a mind of its own.
It does. It does. I don't know. I mean, it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
Here. So how you doing, Frank? How's everyone today?
I'm doing fine, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. And, there's some, quickly, I just want to say, there's some different professions out there that say Happy New Year differently. So a machinist says Happy Screw Year.
Okay.
A painter says Happy Blue Year. A pilot says Happy Flu Year.
Wow.
There's some silly jokes.
Maybe we should have one for radio people.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It's got a detective is Happy Clue Year. A lawyer is Happy Sue Year. Anyway.
I never really thought of that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah. Wow. So here's what I got. I got a lot of names this week. James Fuller. He was born. Oh no, wait. I'm sorry. I got this wrong. This is totally wrong. I got the wrong James Fuller here. Xavier Cugat. If I'm pronouncing that. Yeah. January 1st, 1900. He was a Spanish musician, band leader. Most of his years in Havana, Cuba. Trained violinist and arranger, and he was a leading figure in spreading Latin music to the United States, especially in New York City.
Yeah.
Back in the 1950s, at least. Had a lot of great music.
Yeah, he was married to the Coochie Coochie girl. Remember Charo?
Yes.
And Charo is like my age,
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a couple of months or a year older than her, but she's been around a long time. Yeah, they were married. She was very young when they got married.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I have born January 2nd, 1930. Julius La Rosa, American singer, worked in both radio and television. I think he did some film work too.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he did some film work here. Maybe in like some of those Alan Freed movies or something like that in the 50s.
No, I don't think he ever.
No, maybe not.
No.
No.
But he was a beautiful man. He was.
Yeah.
I love
great voice. Great singing voice he had.
Yeah, and he used to be. He did radio.
Yeah. WNSW in Newark, New Jersey.
And also WNEW in New York.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, 11:30 a.m.
I used to listen.
You did?
Yep.
Wow.
Used to listen.
Cool. Let's see. We also have one of my favorite people, January 3rd, 1909. His legal name is Borg Rosenbaum, but he's professionally known as Victor Borg. Danish American comedian, conductor, pianist. He had some pretty funny piano stuff he did.
Yeah.
Back in the day. and he's kind of like another person I'm going to mention in a little bit here. But yeah, Victor Bohr, pretty fun stuff from him. Let's see, Maxine Andrews of the Andrews Sisters, born January 3rd, 1916. Some of their famous tunes: Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree, Beat Me Daddy 8 to the Bar, which is beat meaning not physical violence beat, but beat from the music. There. Some people, may get confused today. I get it. I understand, but it's give me the beat, give me the music beat. Is
And
what they're saying.
let's clear up something else too. When they say 8 to the bar, that's piano, that's musical terms.
Yes.
Not
yes,
sitting in a salon.
No.
I'm getting thirsty all of a sudden.
Yeah. Time for some adult beverages. Let's see. So another funny guy who's kind of like Victor Borg, but his own way, was Slim Gaillard, January 9th, 1911, also known as McVouty. He had his own way of, he created his own like language, vocalese, singing, and wordplay on things he would sing in his songs, like Flatfoot Flugie, and many other tunes. He had a lot of great music. Laguna is one of them, which I think he's talking about Laguna Beach in California. He teamed up with another guy, Slam, Leroy Elliott Slam Stewart, and they had a duo, Slim and Slam. But he could speak many languages here: Spanish, German, Greek, Arabic, and Armenian. Back in his day, he performed with a lot of different people later in his career: Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie. Another great one of his famous tunes, and you should know this one, Frank. Cement Mixer, Patti Patti. Remember that tune?
No.
No. Look it up. Cement Mixer. It's a fun one.
Wait, who does that? Who does that?
Slim Gaillard.
Slim Gaillard. Okay, I'll look it up. Yeah.
Yeah. He would say, "All righty, all rooty." Some of his funny things there. Let's see. Sam Phillips, born. No, I'm sorry, I got this wrong. Sam Phillips this week, and I didn't have the date here, but this week he opened Sun Records.
Yeah.
Back in whenever it was. I got it somewhere here. Let's see. I have Kim Wilson, January 6, 1951, American blues singer, harmonica player, known for being a lead vocalist for the Fabulous Thunderbirds, which I've seen in Portland. They originated down in Austin, Texas, and they were like a house band at a club down there. It's kind of helped create the music scene in Austin, Texas. Finally, I have January 6, 1924, Earl Scruggs, American musician, bluegrass style. He created a three-finger banjo picking style called Scruggs style, named after him.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of great bluegrass and mountain music back in his days. Made an appearance on the Beverly Hillbillies and some other great TV shows. That's what I got this week, Frank.
I remember that episode on the Beverly Hillbillies. Yeah, I love bluegrass music. I really do. It's
fun. It's fun.
I'm a universal person anyway when it comes to music. I really am.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, Kathy Sledge of the famed Sister Sledge is 64 years old today. Comedian actress Sandra Bernhardt is 68. Actor Rowan Atkins, he played Mr. Bean. He's 68 years old today. The late Bonnie Franklin of One Day at a Time, she would have been 79. Van McCoy, Do the Hustle, he would have been 83. Doris Troy, and she did that hit back in the 60s, Just One Look. She would have been 86 today. Let's see, Nino Tempo. He has a sister named April Stevens, and together at that time they collaborated with a song called Deep Purple. He's 88 today. Actress Sylvia Sims is 89. Victor Tabak, who played Mel on Alice, he would have been 93. Bodybuilder and actor Mickey Haggerty, you know, that's the father of Mariska Hargitay. How do you pronounce that? Hargitay. She's the one that plays on Law and Order SUV. And anyway, the father would have been 97 today. And yeah, you already mentioned Earl Scruggs. You already mentioned him, right? And he would have been 99 years old today. Actress Loretta Young. Now, this goes way back. I don't know if you remember Loretta Young. You probably don't. Actress Loretta Young, one of the legendary actors. She would have been 110. And you know Danny Thomas. I don't even have to give you any introduction to that. He would have been 111 years old today. And those are the birthdays. I go way back in time. Way back in time. Are you still with me, Pete?
Wait, can you hear me? Test 1, 2. Here we go.
There you go. I was wondering.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm here.
yeah. So those are the birthdays today.
Yeah.
And-
I'll tell you about my radio shows on WMPG. Usually every other Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Radio airwaves. I'm changing my schedule. I'm looking to do Thursday nights, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. right now. Looks like a better
is that confirmed or?
Not yet, but it's like 90% sure. So
You'll keep me informed.
but you can find me on social media, Pete DJ PJ. Best way to find me is on Twitter to find out when I'm playing because things change all the time. And I post my radio shows there, twitter.com/Pete DJ PJ.
Pete, before you go, I want to quickly ask you something. Earlier, I was talking about the music industry, and you know, I go back a long ways. You go back a certain way in music. You know, you musically you go back further than I do on your shows. But I was wondering. See, I always thought that, and I enjoyed the music of the '40s too, because I had to learn about the '40s music. I wasn't there, so I had to learn about it and got to like it. But as a radio disc jockey, which I started my career as a radio disc jockey in 1970, right? And I enjoyed the music then. I enjoyed the music, but then later on, when the music came to around the 1980s, as far as I'm concerned, it's only my opinion. After the 1980s, the music industry died. What do you think?
I can understand what you're saying. It's still going. The music industry is still out there. I think a lot of it was record company influences on musicians, which actually dates way back to at least the 50s.
Yeah.
But it was more known in the 80s and 90s how they would push these artists who could, dance and run around on stage, and not necessarily about their singing talent. So I understand that there's a lot of great music out there in general. Some of it, I mean, there's some stuff I don't like, but I kind of respect the artists who make that music all the time, because that's their thing. That's what they want to sing about. So
that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I just thought, in my opinion, I mean, I tolerated the music of the 90s, some of the music of the 90s, but as a radio disc jockey, I guess I'm looking at a disc jockey's point of view. You know, after the 80s, I kind of had it, and maybe that's why I'm not working now.
I totally understand it, because, when I was a kid, I would hear certain stuff all the time on the radio.
Yeah.
Or in school or something like that. And it got, I think it was top 40 stuff, which really got boring very
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, but that's the that's the format that radio station would have, and
Yeah.
that's what they wanted to do. Okay, fine, fine. But yeah, I mean, my radio station WMPG is very eclectic, mixture of all sorts of stuff.
Hmm.
So I wanted to say something that I remember now. I wanted to say it last week because you were talking with Brian about Pele,
Hmm.
and I remember watching him on TV when I was a kid play. And I think, from what if I remember right, but I'd have to look it up, and maybe Brian might know about this, that the last game he played before he retired, at halftime, he went and played for the other team.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look it up. My dad told me when I was a kid watching it. I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I gotta look. I really gotta look it up and see if it's right. But I wouldn't doubt it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't doubt it. You know.
Wow. Boy, that's news. See, you learn something new every day, man. Between you and Brian, man, I get to learn a lot as well, you know.
Yeah, and I'd love to come to New York and go to a Yankees game or a Mets game.
Oh, that would be great. I didn't know if you were a sports guy or not.
Not as much now as I was when I was a kid. But I tell you something. I've been to the old Yankee Stadium in the Bronx.
Yeah.
I've been to the old Shea Stadium in Queens.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
I remember seeing the Yankees play at Shea Stadium because Yankee Stadium was closed for construction.
That's right. I remember that year.
So yeah, the Yankees played home games at Shea Stadium.
Yeah, that's right.
Back in the day.
Wow.
I think I saw the Jets play at Shea once or twice. I saw the Islanders play once.
Yeah.
My dad took me to see the Islanders once.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, Pete. Great talking to you. Happy New Year once again, and we'll see you hopefully next week again.
Happy New Year, and we'll catch you later, and see you next time.
Take care. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to quickly go over to talk about those movies that you love so much, Turner Classic Movies. I have my picks of the week. For those of you who care to know, if you want to catch up on some movies, I have a few that I think you'll like, 3 of them to be exact. Let's get started right now. Let's go back to 1966. It's a movie called The Glass Boat. The Glass Boat, starring Doris Day and Rod Taylor. And those of you who remember Arthur Guthrie from back in the 50s, he was a TV host and a radio host. He was in that movie as well. He played Doris Day's father, but you'll see more of it. That comes on Turner Classic Movies, and you can check that out Saturday, tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern. If you're not up that early, DVR it tonight. All right, check it out then. That's The Glass Boathouse. After that, we have the original A Star is Born. There were 2 different versions of that, but this is the original back in 1937. And it starred Janet Gaynor. I like this movie too. Janet Gaynor and Frederick March. A classic movie from 1937. It comes on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that Sunday at 11:30 a.m. And of course, you could also DVR it as well if you happen to be on your way to church or something like that. That's 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Everything I give you is Eastern. Then we have something that a movie back in 1963 called Sunday in New York. All right, and I spend every Sunday in New York anyway. Ironically, it comes on this Sunday. It stars Jane Fonda and again Rod Taylor, and along with Cliff Robinson. That's Sunday in New York, a nice comedy. It's a kind of a love story, I guess, maybe a little bit of love story. I don't know, but check it out. I think you'll like it. It comes on Turner Classic Movies on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's Sunday in New York. Jane Fonda, Rod Taylor, and Cliff Robinson. And those are all that I have for this week. I hope you like these movies. They're great movies. They're all on Turner Classic Movies. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for me for today. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed bringing the show to you. And we want to catch you back here next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, because that's when we have the Talk Back Live show. Brian Camp will be with me, and he'll have sports, latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. You and I can conversate all together as well. Other than that, I will be back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the Coffee Hour. Again, with our 2020 feature, Brian Camp with sports and DJ Pete with entertainment news and all of the information, those recitals of the birthdays of the week, as he already did. Okay, and I hope to see you guys back here next week for that. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great weekend and a great day, and I will see you all next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.